So first of all, creating your page. When you go to Google+, if you have your own individual account, and you do need to have an individual Google+ account before you create a company page, very similar. In terms of that, it's very similar to the way that Facebook company pages are set up. Google+ company pages are always going to be associated with a Google+ individual profile at this point. And so when you go into Google+ as an individual, you will actually see that I found this link down on the right-hand side on the sidebar. You'll see links. They're kind of all over the place about creating a Google+ page. And so you just follow that link. And that takes you to a screen that is very similar, again, to the way that Facebook company pages work, where you get to choose sort of what kind of company you are. All of these options over here on the left are rollover options. So when you roll over local business or place, it gives you a little more description of what that means. And so you select the type of category that best describes your company. And then you get to start putting in information. Now, this is the particular window for if you choose company, institution, or organization on this previous list, that middle option there. So if you click that, you get these options. If you click on the local business option, you get slightly different options where it actually asks you to put in your phone number and your address and find yourself that way. Here with a company, institution, or organization, you can put in the name for your page, what your website is if you want to add that, your category, so what kind of services you provide, what your company does, and then you can set some restrictions on who the content is appropriate for. So that's a difference between Google+ company pages and Facebook company pages. Facebook company pages now are by default public to the world, but Google+ is allowing you to say, well, actually my content is only for people 21 and older. Now most of you are not going to have that problem, but know that that is an option. And then of course you agree to the terms before you continue. And then you get this message. They create your page, and then you go on to customize your page profile. Now, an interesting thing, and very much in keeping with what Google is overall, being a search engine and a way to find things online, when you set up your page, you actually get this tagline. You get it to put in a tagline where you get to put in basically the 10 or so keywords that best describe what your company does. And Google, of course, is going to use this as the keywords that that help people find you when they're searching for things, both within Google's search overall and also within Google+. And so choosing those keywords will be sort of important. Now you can see this example here. As I said a minute ago, I wasn't taking screenshots when I first set up Pivot, so this is actually for the Straight Talk webinars. I set up a sort of a mock Google page for that, a Google+ page for that. And so I put in free social media webinar. Our telco clients would want to put in things like your location and the services you provide. Other companies definitely would want to put in sort of names of products and services, location if you are based in a particular location, that sort of thing. The profile photo, interesting choice here made by Google+. The profile photo has to be a square. Now on Facebook, we all know that the Facebook thumbnail has to be a square, but the profile picture can be most any shape. Google+ is going to force you into using some sort of square, so just know that when you go into to set up your account. And then once you have created your page, you have the option to share your page as your individual profile on Google+. And like all of your Google+ status updates, you can decide who you want to share that status update with, and it will then post that to your personal Google+ profile as a way of promoting your page automatically. And again, there is an option for telling your circles, so defining which circles you want to have see this page as well. And it's being clear that this post will come from you, not from this page. Your page will get the chance to promote itself in just a minute. So another interesting thing, Facebook has the ability to use Facebook as a company that they added several months ago at this point. Google Plus has the exact same ability. You can log into Google Plus and use it as the company or use it as your individual profile. And what they do when you create your page is they automatically flip you over to using Google Plus as the page. So you can see that in the header. You are now using Google Plus as this page. Your posts, comments, and notifications will be from this page. So they want you to make sure you understand that before you start posting. And you can see up in the top left, now I am signed in as Pivot Group, not signed in as Ian anymore. And it gives you the option to start your first post. So I did, in fact, go ahead and add in our first post. The default option is to make this a public post, but you can also add in people based on, you can add in people who aren't on Google+. So if you started adding in just email addresses there, those people would also receive this notification. And then you can share that. And again, you're seeing that you're using Google+ as the page itself. And then it gives you some affirmation about your post, and also gives you the option tells you how to edit your post or delete it. One thing that's new here with what Facebook has, or different from Facebook, I should say, is that Facebook, if you say something in a post and it's an inaccurate or you spelled something wrong or something like that, you have to delete the post and start over. Google Plus here giving you the option to actually edit your posts after you've posted them, which is helpful. And then the page is set up, and now you can see I'm sort of back to the Straight Talk page. And again, you can see it's still telling you you're signed in. You can see also up in the top left-hand corner of the whole screen that it's telling me that I'm signed in as Straight Talk and not as Ian. One thing, important place to know about at this point, once you've clicked into the posts area, you have this About tab, and that's very similar to the Info tab on Facebook. So About is where you want to go in and add in all the information about your company, what sort of services you provide, basically the text that's going to describe for people what your company is and does. And you get there by clicking on this Edit Your Profile link that's right there in the middle. And then you can see another thing that's similar. Now, what I did, you can see here, I went back to my personal profile. I searched for myself on Google+, went back to my personal profile, but you can see in the top left-hand corner, I'm still signed in as Pivot, and it's always telling me you're using Google+ as this page, meaning Pivot Group that's listed up here. And so right now, Google Plus has set it up the same way as a Facebook company page, where I, as a company, cannot go and contact an individual through Google Plus unless they have added me. So you'll see that it says that this individual needs to add you to their circles and that sort of thing. And even after I did go ahead and as an individual I added Pivot to my circles. Even then, as Pivot, I can't go back and post on another individual's page. So that functionality is all the same way that Facebook company pages are set up, where it's saying, yes, individuals can choose to interact with companies, and companies can push information out, but companies can't go and automatically add individuals or post things on their walls in the same way. And here you get just sort of an overall view of what the I'm sorry. This is what the I'm back now at the Pivot full Google Plus page, but now this is what it is looking like for me as an individual. I'm signed in as Ian again, and now I can add Google Plus. You can see I can add Google Plus to my circles just as I would a friend or another individual on Google Plus. So in that sense, Google Plus is letting you say, you know what, my circle of high school friends might include my high school page itself. It also might include this restaurant that we all hung out in high school, that sort of thing. So you can actually add companies to sort of circles and areas of your life. And in fact, when I was creating this, I did in fact add Pivot into my Pivot circle. And then it tells you also when you click the +1 icon underneath, when you're on a page, and let me show you that again. So here's the Pivot page, and here's the +1 button that's showing up because I'm approaching it as an individual. So when I click that, it says you publicly +1 to this as Ian Desher. So that's a little bit different than just adding them to my circles. The +1 is like the like button on Facebook in that it's public, so that everyone's going to be able to see what I've clicked the +1 button on. Whereas people aren't going to necessarily see who all is in my circles if I don't want them to. So that's just a difference to know there. And then finally, a really interesting thing to point out here. When I first made the Pivot Group page, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get back into how to switch between myself and Pivot within Google+. And it was in fact that was actually not even an option yet on Google+. It had not yet built a way to switch between your own personal profile and the page's profile. And so what they did is they pretty quickly added a new way to switch between your own page and a company's page. And the way you do that is when you're on your own individual profile or when you're on the company's profile, it will tell you, it'll show you this thing that says one page, and it's a drop-down. And right here you can just switch between you or the company that you are managing. This Manage Your Pages link actually takes you over into another place where you can delete the company if you want to, or things like that. But that's how you switch between yourself and the company on Google+. Okay, so that's all the information that I have. There was one question. If anybody else has questions, we do have a couple of minutes. You can put those in the questions bar. So the question that's come through, and I'm looking at it, I may not be qualified to answer it, but it's from somebody in the telco, one of our telco clients. It says, would there be any link to net neutrality relative to the bill going through Congress? Net neutrality is this issue of, every web page has to be given the same sort of, how can I describe it? You can't make people have to pay to go to certain websites. The web is supposed to be free at this point. So Comcast can't suddenly decide that I have to start paying for access to YouTube, or can't decide that I suddenly have to pay more to download video content than I would to download other content. That's part of the net neutrality issue. I don't think that is part of this bill going through Congress, but again, I'm not 100% qualified to answer that question. I would dig around some more on the Stop Online Piracy Act, but given the, I think, intent behind the act, which I think is in fact to protect copyright laws and try to stop piracy, I don't think that it's getting into the net neutrality issue in this particular bill. Thank you. That's a great question, and I'll dig around for more information and see if I can't find something else about that as well. So it looks like that's the only question. That's all I have for today. Our next Straight Talk on Social Media webinar will be 2 weeks from today, the 2nd, and we had originally scheduled the topic of choosing your keywords for today, but we'll go ahead and do that 2 weeks from now since the Google Plus company pages bumped it. Dave Neustraden's next Straight Talk on Telco Marketing webinar will be Wednesday the 30th, also at 11 o'clock Pacific time, for those of you who might want to join us. And for any of you who want to join Dave's webinar on the Bull Challenge Picket. Again, you can find that link in the chat toolbar here of the webinar, and you can join that in just a handful of minutes here. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks. I see somebody saying that they didn't find the chat button. I'll go ahead and send you that link directly. If anybody else needs that link, go ahead and send me an email, and I'll make sure you get that link as well. Thank you all so much. Have a great weekend. Remember to keep your media social and your talk straight.